Special guest in conversation this week. It's a bit exciting, actually, for both of us, because she's a listener. I'm a viewer, so it kind of works both ways, and I'm a big admirer of her husband. And now I know that she likes animals and travelling. She's not a lovey, she's not a showbiz lovey per se, even though she appears in films. And we'll find out in a moment whether or not we actually do the showbiz parties. We're coming up to Mr. Selfridge. We're series 4 now, Amanda Abbington, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yeah, last one.
Is this final one?
This is the final one, yeah. The
Are you
final
back?
push.
Are you coming back from America?
I'm coming back, yeah, because I wasn't in the first 3 episodes because I was filming something else. So they went, we'll get her in America. We'll get her off to America.
So off she went to America.
For no real reason.
No, there's no real reason for it.
And now I come back to visit Mr. Grove because he's had some bad news, so I come back and see him.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's nice to be working, isn't it?
It's lovely to be working, Steve. I love working, and
Yeah.
I never take that for granted.
No, I'm of the same opinion. People always say, you get up at stupid o'clock in the morning. I said, yeah, but I get paid for it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not being paid. It's not like they're forcing me to come in. If I wanted to stop, I could probably stop, but I can't think of any reason.
No, and the thing is, I think if you can do it well, like you do it really well, you do.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
I think if you do it well, I think, it makes it fun. It should be fun. It should never be awful to do. And I know actors who hate acting. They don't like the process of acting. And I think, well, you don't have to do it. It's for absolutely vocational.
Do it?
I don't know.
It's like I can understand actors and actresses saying, I don't mind doing the acting, but I don't like doing the interviews. And I've had a couple of people over the years, and I've said to them, do you hate interviews? And they've gone, yeah, because you've done it. And then you have to go out and try and sell it or justify it. And they said it's a little bit difficult to do that sometimes.
Right.
To try and summon up the enthusiasm because you've moved on, you're doing something else, then casting your mind back to what you did do.
Yes, sometimes you forget what you've done as well. You have to be reminded, that happened, yeah, okay. I don't mind doing them. I like doing them.
Yeah. Amanda is the person, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, who, when she did a police thing, she tried to keep the warrant card. Now, as you're well aware, it's totally illegal to pass yourself off as a police officer.
Yeah, I did. I asked them several times.
I'd love a warrant card.
So would I. Just because I see so many people misbehaving and just being ignorant.
See, that's why you like the programme, because we're very similar. Yeah. Because I'm kind of big on animals.
Good.
I'm very big on animals, and I think you did an interview with people. They were doing something. Where had you just done? I can't remember, but Cecil the lion had just been shot.
Oh, don't talk to me about that. I got so angry about that.
I got so angry about it. And then they had a piece in the paper the other day of somebody else who'd been out there, and they said, and in a course of 18 months, he'd killed all these. And I thought, can somebody justify this to me?
Yeah.
Why would somebody want to go in? Because she has so many animals at home.
Yes, I do.
Last year they lost the hamster, but then hamsters don't last very long. Do you have a tarantula?
We've got a tarantula, yeah. She's my son's. And we've got 3 rescue dogs and a rescue cat. They're all
Martin
rescues.
Freeman has said if she gets another one, he's leaving. It's as simple as that.
He did, yeah. If I ever win the lottery, I'm just going to have loads of animal sanctuaries.
So you are Doris Day.
I am, yeah.
You are Doris Day.
But I'm recently very upset about those beached whales that and there's people
5.
taking selfies.
I was
so angry.
I was very odd about this because I know that whales beach themselves intentionally. I don't know why they do it or what it is, but we've had 5 beached. And people go down there, and you're right, they're taking selfies. Somebody wrote on the tails as well, which I thought, why are you doing this? One of the whales exploded.
That's right, yes.
The other day.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, I think the reason people take pictures is because we've never seen anything this size before. We see them in the sea, we see them on Attenborough's programmes, but here they are on a beach, and you realise just how majestic they are and how beautiful and huge.
But I can understand taking photographs of the actual thing. But when you're standing there and you're in the photo smiling, I don't understand that, because I find that it's a lack of respect. That was a beautiful creature who was swimming in the ocean, and now it's, for whatever reason, it's dead, and you're kind of grinning like a lunatic.
Yes, it's like, oh look, here's us and the kids with a dead whale.
Yeah, I mean,
I was a bit uncertain.
Yeah,
fascinated by seeing the size of them now on the beaches.
Absolutely,
but also thinking, what do we know about these creatures? We don't know anything at all. I mean, do you think they know they're called sperm whales,
Absolutely,
for example?
Yeah.
I don't think they know anything.
There's a brilliant book called The Deep about this man who's a journalist, and he goes to write about freediving. And
that's where you hold your breath.
Yeah, and go really down into the sea. And he becomes a freediver, but there's brilliant chapters on it about how intelligent and how much we don't actually know about whales and dolphins, and how they are probably quite superior to us, but we can't know that they know, but they've accessed more of
That's why
their
I hated the film
brain.
Free Willy.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I thought it was something different when I first went to watch it.
Everybody did.
Everybody did, and I discovered it was about a whale.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that idea either. But we use animals in movies, don't we?
Yes.
We use them all over the place, whether they're
Yeah.
a dog or a parakeet or a budgie or whatever it
Yeah.
is. They use animals everywhere.
Absolutely.
Now.
And I mean, the shows I've done where animals have been used, we've always had people coming down and making sure that they're looked after, and it's very important that we look after them. I think we need to, because they don't have a voice. We're their voice, and it's a shame when you see people being abhorrent.
See, there's a very famous writer, and she also has lots and lots of animals. Lots and lots. I think she wrote Widows and things like that. And she keeps loads of animals, and she's almost got the same as you, like a menagerie.
Yes.
And I think at one point she was going to write to Paul McCartney and say, would you like to fund... And there's a zoo that's just come up for sale.
Oh, really?
There's an elderly couple who've got a zoo with lots of animals, which are quite tame, and they want 600,000 quid. And I thought, that seems quite...
yeah.
But then I'm not sure... You'd have to devote yourself.
And it's the upkeep, isn't it? It's maintaining that as well. Yes. I mean, the idea of having a zoo is just it's so lovely.
Could be a private zoo.
Yeah,
I mean, you wouldn't have to let the public in. It could just be for you.
Yes.
I'd like that idea.
Yeah.
I'd like lots of animals, but because of my hours and things like that, it would just be terribly selfish.
Absolutely.
But when we were younger, we had animals.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you have?
We had the obligatory hamster.
Yes.
I loved the hamster. We were given it in a filling station.
Why? Well, how did that happen?
I don't know. We called into a filling station. We were going on a caravanning holiday, and they went, "Oh, do you want the hamster?" And so we said, "Oh yes, we'll take the hamster." And so this hamster arrived in a Wall's ice cream tin, which was huge. It was quite a big tin. And we called her Judy, and she went with us on all the caravanning holidays and everything. We had a cat, a white Persian cat,
Lovely.
who used to play with the hamster, only through the bars of the cage. We didn't think we'd risk it.
No.
Far too dangerous. Though after the hamster passed on, the cat did dig her up 3 times.
Oh, gosh,
And bring her
really?
to the back door again, which freaked my father out completely. But no, we had that, and we had a Cocker Spaniel who went round the bend completely. They stuck his head in a wasp's nest.
Right.
And got bitten and stung very badly, and his little face all puffed up.
Oh, my goodness.
And then he started becoming snappy, and
It's amazing what can trigger that sort of stuff.
different
isn't
things.
It? Yeah.
So you have 3 dogs.
We've got 3 dogs. We've got a miniature long-haired dachshund, a standard long-haired dachshund.
You're the first person I've ever met who's had dachshunds.
Oh, I love them.
Do you really?
Yeah, I love them. They're so funny and really stubborn and
Sausage dogs.
Sausage dogs, yeah. And we've got a mongrel. So he's got dachshund in him. He's actually at a behavioural college at the moment. He's at 3-week behavioural school because
Send them off. In other words, they've lived in your house for a while. Immediately, they're now having treatment.
Well, it's like the priory for dogs. Or as my son called it, dog warts. He's gone to dog warts for 3 weeks. But he was kept in a room when he was from birth to a year and was never acclimatised and socialised with other dogs. So he had a bad first year of his life, and then I got him. And, of course, I let him off because we've got fields all around us. I let him off and he just ran and didn't come back. And I was like, oh, right, OK, we need to deal with this. And he's not very good with other dogs. But I pick him up on Saturday this week, and he is already, I've been watching little videos, and he's already come on leaps and bounds. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to...
I love watching them doing it at Battersea Cat and Dogs Home, where they persevere with animals who've had... not behavioural problems, it's the way they've been treated by adults.
Yeah.
And what some people do to animals beggars belief.
Yeah, I actually don't understand it, where that mentality is and what prompts
I feel
you to
horrible
do it.
thoughts towards these
So
people.
do I.
Because I think to myself, and
So
then I remonstrate with myself thinking, you shouldn't be nasty because perhaps they've got screws loose. But I think, how could you ever do this?
I know.
How could you do
I
this to
don't get
animals?
it.
I
I
don't
don't get
understand
it.
it.
No.
Actors are so much nicer.
We are.
So here we are. So luckily we're in not only Mr. Selfridge, but you get Sherlock as well.
Yes.
I mean, you sort of... And you're with your husband again.
I'm with my husband again, which is
Unbelievable.
lovely.
It's his 3rd time. Have you married him 3 times in various things?
I think I've married him 3 or 4 times on television, yes. So that's nice.
Well, how have you managed that?
I don't know. I don't know how it happens, but we always end up getting married. And then I think in one we got married and divorced. I think we did a thing called the Robinsons, and I married him and then we got divorced. But I love working with him. He's just very easy.
Yeah, you like him, don't you?
Yeah, and
I mean, you have to. You're married to him.
I have to, but not necessarily. I think if he was a bad actor, I'd have to leave him. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Martin,
No,
I do apologise. I'm so sorry we went down this route. We didn't want to.
But he is one of my favourite actors, and it's really nice that I get to go home with him and we can dissect the day and talk about stuff. It's
when did
lovely.
you meet?
We met 16 years ago this year on a makeup bus. And I was moaning to the makeup artist saying, I'm never going to get a nice boy. It's never going to happen. And she said, well, it's so funny you said that because there's an actor on here who's been wishing he could meet a nice girl. And he said, he's coming back to the makeup bus now. And he walked on and it was a bit of a thunderbolt. It was like, oh, it's you. I hope this works out. And he said the same thing. He said, as soon as I saw you, I realised I'd stopped looking.
Wow.
And a couple of months later, we moved in with each other.
I'm going to be sick.
I know, it is nauseating. It is. People just go, oh, shut up. But, 16 years later...
But you had lots of boyfriends before him? Or?
I'd had my fair few. Yeah, I mean, I'd been around the block. Not too much. Just one block, not a whole
And were you
town.
always looking for the right person? Do people get to an age? I mean, I don't know, I'm well past that kind of thing now. I'd much rather do a jigsaw, to be honest with you. I can't be doing with anything like it's just too emotional. I don't do that kind of stuff. I could be very emotional watching films and stuff like that. Yes. I just don't want to do it in private life.
No. Cool, that's
so
fair enough.
you'd road tested a few and you thought maybe not. And
road tested a few. Had a few loves. My first love, there's always one that you remember.
Yeah.
But I met him and I just thought, oh, I really like you. And actually 16 years later he's still like my best friend and he still makes me laugh like no other person. And we work hard at it, Steve. We check in with each other every now and again and say, look, are we still right for each other? Are we still happy?
Oh wow.
Because I just think you can kind of take it for granted and then it becomes monotonous or it just becomes boring and so we try and make sure that we look after each other.
Never take anybody for granted.
You can't, because that's when it starts to go down.
Yes, and we see it too often, especially in your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in your business.
Yeah.
All right, very quick break.
Yes.
More from Amanda Abbington after this. Special guest in conversation, Amanda Abbington. So we have the final series of Mr. Selfridge, which is, I mean, we do costume drama well.
I think we do. I think we do it very well. We are very good at it, and I think it's because we have a history as well, don't we? I mean, the United Kingdom have a huge history, and I think that's why we're very good at it.
I think everybody abroad thinks that we all go around as if we're in Merchant Ivory films.
I think so, but I think Americans think that. I think they. I mean, I've met a few Americans that say, do you wear a corset? And it's like, no, I don't. Do you know what? I don't in real life. That's no. But I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that they have this romanticised idea of what we all do.
Yeah.
We all take tea and stuff, and I quite like that.
But we do.
We do take tea.
We do take tea. We do have coffee. We do have lots of dogs running around. You have children.
I don't have a butler. I don't have
you have an
staff.
Arga.
Yeah, but that was already in the house.
Yeah,
it was already in the house when we got it.
Really?
And actually, I've got to get
Have
rid
you
of
learnt
it.
to master it?
It's really hard, and actually, it's not. I need more burners. Do you know what I mean? I need more.
You're actually better off with gas.
Yes.
Perhaps have it removed. They're very expensive.
Are they? Right.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. Seriously.
Maybe I'll sell it on
but you
eBay.
can get a nice sell it on eBay. You've got to lift it out first because Argas are permanently on, ladies and gentlemen. And so in your house, when you're not working or Martin's not abroad, he's abroad at the moment. You've got to do everything. Get the kids ready for school.
Yeah, walk the
in
dogs.
Between doing everything else, walk the dogs, clean. Do you have a cleaner?
No, I do it all. My mum helps me with the ironing. She's very good, and she comes in, and actually she does come in and help me do hoovering and stuff as well. So she's very good.
Ironing is a nightmare. If you've got children, you know how much ironing you've got to do.
Yeah, and my mum, can I tell you, she is the best. She could make a fortune because her ironing, I've never seen anything like it. She's properly good. Yeah, she could make a little living out of it. I keep saying to her, you should.
Does she enjoy doing it though?
She loves it.
Oh, does she?
She loves it.
My mother used to do it. She'd watch the television. She brings the ironing board into the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what my mum does.
Does the same thing.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, that's really good. I can iron, but I don't.
Yeah, see,
I pay
can.
somebody to do ironing.
Do you? That's good though. If you can do that, do it.
Yeah, it's so much easier. A friend of mine's got a dry cleaner. He does washing, ironing. It all comes back on hangers. You take it in, it comes back, hang it up.
Oh,
Godsend.
nice.
Godsend.
It's just too much time otherwise.
I know. Well, exactly. I don't want to waste time.
No,
Life's a bit too short.
It really is. And you find that the older you get, don't you? I'm like in my 40s now. I'm going, this is going too quick now.
I hate the ageing.
It's too quick.
I hate the ageing. All of a sudden, I promise you, between the ages of whatever you are and whatever I am, which is a lot older than you.
No, I don't think you're a lot older.
God bless
I
your
don't
heart.
think you are actually.
I am.
No, I don't think so.
No, seriously. If you cut me in half, you could count the rings. It goes up to over 6.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, shush.
Does it ever? Yeah, it's horrible. And I spoke to a friend of mine the other day, and we both agreed we hate the ageing process. And we've decided that when we both pass on, we're going to be cremated and have our ashes put in a rocket. I said it's going to be the biggest rocket you've ever seen in between her and me. I mean,
That's
this thing's
what
going
I
to be...
said I was going to do, have it over the Thames near the National.
There's a company. They actually,
I've heard,
over the National?
Yeah, I was going to have it near the National, go off near the National.
I was going to give it to a friend of mine, my ashes in a box, and say, could you stand on Richmond Bridge and cast them into the water. I said, but knowing your luck, there'll be a gust of wind. It'll blow them back in your face.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to go,
Yeah.
ha, 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 ha.
Absolutely.
But a rocket, I think, is great. Or you can be made into a ring or something
I
like that.
like that idea as well.
I think that's it's a
quite
bit more
like
inspiring.
That. Yeah,
than,
I think so. Then just sort of like off you pop.
Yeah. Oh, I've already told my boss. I said I want to be on all the news bulletins. I do
Yes.
not want to be missed out at all.
No.
I said, and I want the company to pay for a horse-drawn vehicle to go all the way around this
plumes.
building with plumes. I want to go the whole Dombey and Son bit. I want to go
Absolutely.
everywhere with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we've got Sherlock as well.
Sherlock, we start filming at the end of March, beginning of April. 3 more episodes. Which
How long does that take? How long does that take to do an episode?
So we start at the beginning of April. We'll finish in end of July, beginning of August. I think they take their
that's
time
nice.
over it.
That's
But they're
nice.
which is lovely. And Mark's written the first one, and Stephen's writing the second one, and then they'll collaborate and write the third one together.
Right. And so you can go home every night for this, can you?
Well, I can't. I think we'll be filming it in Bristol. It's Bristol interiors and some exteriors, and then we come back to London to do all the
Right.
kind of 221B.
Because the kids have sort of almost been with you, haven't they?
Yes,
They sort of do
and
come
where
onto
we
set.
can, they come and I mean they've spoken to orcs and they've seen Sherlock throw himself off the building, and they love it. They love all
Yeah.
that, and they've known it since they were babies. I used to bring Grace and Joe. I used to bring to a sketch show I did called Man Stroke Woman, and he'd come in his little baby carrier, and my mum and dad are brilliant. They're just down the road, so they come and help out.
Oh, nice.
And they've got a couple of godmothers who are brilliant, Sue and Daisy, so we're very, very, I know we're very lucky.
You're very blessed.
We really are, I know that, and I
Oh.
don't take any of that for granted.
Yeah.
I'm well
Do you
aware.
I only ask you this question because it came up the other day with a lady who called Karen Brady.
Yes, oh yeah,
And,
yeah, I know
and Karen is lovely, and I've known Karen for years. And people were talking about that if you're in the business, people have separate bank accounts.
Yes.
And she said, we don't. We have one bank
Right.
account. She said, we don't separate our money
No.
at all. And I remember thinking, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people would have separate bank accounts.
Yeah, we do. We
you?
always have.
So you
yeah.
have your own money and he has
yes,
his money?
Yes.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and then we kind of pull together for bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And living and stuff. But yeah, we definitely have ours.
And are you good at budgeting? Are you a sort of...
No.
Oh, you're
no,
like me.
I'm horrible. I had to.
You're really bad.
My agent now has to take off 30% and give it to my accountant
Oh, right.
because of things that have happened in the past where I've just not been able to manage. And
But everybody gets like that. And my argument used to be, listen, I do the work, somebody else worries about it because I can't think about it. I don't want to think about it.
I know this may be a bit controversial, but it's like a sort of dyslexia with me.
Yeah.
I see figures and they just I
You
can't.
go blind.
Yeah, I do, and I'm not very good at budgeting or managing. I mean, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Since I had that trouble, I managed much better now.
That was an awful time for you. I know.
It
I know.
was,
Because
it
you've talked
was.
about it and you've said it was awful. I think awful
And it
for
wasn't
anybody.
premeditated. It was
No.
just I wasn't doing it. I wasn't saving enough. So I was giving some to the taxman, but not giving all of it. And I didn't realise. And so it built up and built up and built up. And it was in no way premeditated. And I felt dreadful. I mean, I was the lowest I'd ever been.
Yeah.
And I got really, really depressed. And, I know it's my fault.
Oh, forget about it.
But
you're right. You're
but
right.
but
You worry about.
You do, and because I was juggling kids and Martin was away and everything was I was just getting on top of me, and I just didn't think.
Yeah.
I do now, and I'm
Yes.
very, very aware of where my money goes and who gets it now.
Me
because
too.
I never, ever, ever want to go through that again.
But
I
you
would never,
won't.
No.
You've done it. I always say, because I had a debt that sat over me for ages and ages, and I saw no end in sight. In fact,
Yeah.
it got to the point where the bank took away the checkbook
Right.
and cards.
Yeah.
He said to me, you cannot manage your money. And now I've got a bank manager, and she manages everything. If
Yeah.
I've got money in there, she puts it into the tax account. We've got all the money going into the right places,
Yeah.
and she'll say, right, I've just transferred a bit of money. You're going a little bit low on your current account, and she handles it. So every so often I send her money to buy flowers
Yeah.
or chocolate,
Yes.
whatever she wants, because you need that person.
You do.
Because I come into work, I do this, I get paid for it, so
Yeah.
if you get paid for it, somebody else can handle the money side of
Yeah.
it. Just make sure that when the bills come in, there's some
paid.
money in that account to pay for it.
Absolutely.
And then I don't need to worry about it
too, yeah.
ever again.
Me too. That's why they take off 30% at source, and then I know what I've got is mine
Yeah.
to pay bills and to look after my
Are
family.
you an extravagant person? Do you...
Sometimes I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I am with people as well, with friends. I like to sort of make them have a
pay.
Yeah, me too. I do that.
I'm not good at receiving.
No, I'm not. I'm terrible.
I'm
I go,
terrible.
no, I don't want it.
I'm terrible at receiving. And people say, if ever I go out for dinner with friends of mine, now they actually fight to pay. I say it's too late, it's already been sorted.
Yeah,
You aren't allowed to pay. And they go, can we pay next time? I go, yeah, you can pay next time, knowing next time they can't pay.
Yes.
I don't like getting things from people. I'd rather give to them.
Yeah, me
I don't know
too.
why.
No, I'm like that, but I think I just think that's part of who you are. I think that it's a nice, and it's a nice trait to have. It's better than being.
Do you buy presents for Martin? Or?
I do buy presents for Martin. Yeah, we buy each other things. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice,
I
actually.
like the idea that you talk to each other about, where are we at the moment and all this kind of thing.
It's good to check in every now and again if you're in a long-term relationship, I think.
Yeah. Well, you're in it for the long haul.
Well, I am, and I know. I think I know he is. So.
Did America spoil him in any way? Because they adore him in America.
Yeah, I don't think it did. I think he's very practical when it comes to
very
America.
down to earth and
yeah,
grounded.
he is, and I think that he has no ambition to live out there. We never want to move out there. We love London too much, and we love England. So he would never want to live out there. We're
God.
and we're very grounded here. We love it. I love London. I wouldn't want to be too far away from London.
No, I love it as well. I don't mind going away. I like the coming back
So
bit.
do I.
The coming back bit's great.
Me too.
You get to Heathrow or wherever it happens to be and you think, oh, thank God I'm home.
Yeah, and
Nice
there's
cup of tea.
nothing like your own bed.
No,
Nothing like your own bed.
It's all, if ever I go away for Christmas, they go, oh, you can spend the night. I don't think so. I don't even like using people's toilet.
Oh my good, no, I know. I'm like, no, we can get home. We'll get home.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I was going, listen, I'm fine. They go, you could. In fact, I did actually one time stay at my godchildren's, and I lay in bed thinking, I don't want to be here. I love them to pieces.
Yeah.
And so I get up at 2 a.m. and I get back in the car and I drive back to London. Of course, they went into a panic thinking, where's he gone?
Oh, he's gone.
And I
He's
said,
gone AWOL.
I just don't like to sleep in other people's places.
Yeah, I love my home. I love being at home as well.
Me too. I think you get in, you shut the door, and it's the most fantastic thing ever. Somebody was, you were saying in one of your interviews about working the Royal Court.
Yes.
Because you worked there before.
Yes.
Would you like to go back to doing that?
I'd like to go back there, and I think I'm going to have a chat with Vicky Featherstone, who's the artistic director. I'd love to go back. It's one of my favourite theatres. Because I love the fact that they do new writing, and they're quite edgy, and they're not frightened of pushing boundaries.
First place they did the Rocky Horror Show, I believe.
Is it really?
I believe so. Yes.
Wow.
And I've been there on many an occasion.
It's a fantastic theatre, isn't it? It's
Yes,
just
it
lovely,
is.
and I love where it's situated. You've got lovely Sloane Square and all those lovely shops that you can go and window shop.
Because I think going back to stage work, I think puts you in perspective. Television's very nice.
Yeah.
Stage really tests you.
It really grounds you, and and because it's it's not well paid. So you learn your craft again. So because television, you're sitting around a lot of the time waiting for the shot to work. You're in your trailer. You're quite cosseted. But theatre, you're in a rehearsal room and it's raw, and you're with these group of actors that you kind of have to get on with or just work with. And I love it. I love theatre.
And they do clap. You
They do
You don't really get
clap.
that on film sets, apart from they go, it's a wrap, and you go,
Yeah, woo!
well done. And then you go back to your trailer, and that's
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
But in theatre, you go outside and there's the people milling about.
And you get a chance to change it up every night. That's the thing. If you're doing a nice run, you can mix it up and you can play, and you can if you've made a mistake the previous night, you can go back and rectify it. And it's a fantastic medium. It's brilliant. And we've got some amazing shows on at the moment. Just gorgeous. Yeah.
I love them.
I love
I
England.
love
I
them.
love British theatre.
Oh, it's the best in the world.
It is the
That's why
best.
people come here.
But it is the best in the world.
It
though,
is,
Steve,
I know.
Isn't it? It's just
It is.
gorgeous. That's why people clamour to work in the West End, because it's...
So they should.
Yeah.
Listen, good luck for the remainder of the year. Hope
Thank
it turns
you.
out really well for you.
Bless you, Steve. Thank
And
you.
lots of love to Martin as well.
Will do.
You're going to get another hamster. Only ask, some
No.
people might. No plans.
Not yet.
Otherwise, Martin's out. Amanda Abbington, thank you.
Thank you so much.
To me, it was the true definition of heroism and something I was honoured to be a part of.
I used to live in Benghazi.
Really?
Yes,
that true?
When I was seriously, my father was
Wow.
stationed out there when I was
Wow.
a little tiny person, so I cannot remember anything about it. But we've got photographs of me there. That's why when the title.